Good evening, everyone. So I saw a bunch of questions like in my email and my text on Facebook, questions that unfortunately last week I was feeling I was a little bit under the weather. I couldn't really get to them. So I kind of want to go over them in this session. So let's look at this problem here. And this is a linear equation, and they ask you to find an equation of the line, slope, y, or in the y-intercept. Okay, so what you need to recognize for the GED exam. See, all algebraic equations with one or two variables are linear equations. We just don't classify them like that. So, but what I want you to do is I want you to be familiar with the two forms. So we got slope-intercept form. Well, I don't like green. We got slope-intercept form. Does anybody know what slope-intercept form? What form is that? Anybody know?
Y equals mx plus b.
Y equals mx plus b. And then standard form. Does anybody know standard form?
Ax plus b.
Plus b what?
Ax plus b equals
by
c.
by equals c. Right? So if we look at this equation here, that's not either one of those forms, right? But what we do notice is if I want to get y by itself, I can just divide both sides by y. So in this question here, the best thing to do is to divide by 5. And whatever we do on one side, we do on the other. So these two 5s cancel. We get y equal 25x divided by 5 plus 30 divided by 5. These are unlike terms, and since they cannot be combined, we must divide them separately. So then we get y equal 5x plus 6. Now, once we see this, it should be easy to find the slope in the y-intercept. What's the slope from here?
So you can have more time in the land of the living. I can't even enjoy the time I've got.
Can anybody tell the slope from this equation?
5.
5. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm freezing. I'm freezing up.
Yes, it's freezing. I thought it was me.
Okay, I'm sorry. So do I need to go back? Does anybody understand all these steps?
Well, I don't understand because how did you get like once you put the 5 divided by 5 with the 5x plus 30 on top, how did you I don't understand that step.
Okay, all right, so let me go back. Let me save this real quick. Let me erase it. I'm gonna erase every step and I'm gonna write it all by itself over here. So I'm gonna rewrite it. And we got 5y equal 25x plus 30, right? So now you have two forms that you want your linear equation to be in so we can find the slope and y-intercept. That's either slope-intercept form or standard form. So what you notice is when you look at that left side, you have 5y. So it's much easier to get the y by itself than to try to move everything on one side. So I'll show you both ways and you'll be able to see. It doesn't matter. You just got to say, which form do I want to use? To me, I feel like slope-intercept form is easier this way. So in order to get y by itself, for example, if I have 5y equal 25, how would I solve for y? What would I do? If I had 5y equal 25, how would I solve?
You divide?
Divide by what?
5.
5.
Divide by 5. Now, whatever I do on one side, I must do on the other, correct?
Correct.
So I would have y is equal to 5, right? So now that's a one-step algebraic equation. So that's the same thing we want to do here. We're still dividing. We still want to get y by itself. So we want to divide by 5, right? So we must also divide everything else on the other side of the equation by 5. Understand that?
No, how do you divide? See, I got confused with the 30.
No. What I'm saying is, just like this example here, do you understand why we divide both sides by 5?
Yes.
Okay, so I want you to, that's right there. Now, what happens is, now, these two 5s cancel. Do you understand that?
I understand that.
So we have y equal 25x plus 30 divided by 5. We didn't change anything. I just simplified or canceled the two 5s on the left side.
Okay. I see now.
So the 25x and the 30 cannot be combined. They are not like terms. So therefore, we must do that calculation or computation separately. So I'm going to do 25x divided by 5 plus 30 divided by 5.
Wow.
Understand that?
Yes.
Now we can do some more simplifying. So 25, 5 going to 25 5 times. So we got 5x. And then 5 going to 30 6 times.
Wow.
Okay. So now y equal 5x plus 6. What's the slope?
5.
5. And what's the y-intercept?
6.
6.
Just that little, I didn't know that.
So that's why I wanted to go over it, because what I saw a lot of people making small mistakes. So remember what a linear equation is. As long as it could be one variable, it could be two variables. Okay, in this case, we have x and y. So the two formats I want you to be familiar with is slope intercept and standard form. And then you can change them to whatever form that you want. So watch this. Let me show you. So you understand that way. Watch this. I'm going to do it again. But this time I'm going to do standard form. Okay, so I got 5y equal 25x plus 30. Okay, so I want it in standard form, which is ax plus by equals c. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that 25x and I'm going to move it on the other side. Whatever I do on one side, I must do on the other. So I got minus 25x plus 5y equal 30. Now it's in standard form because ax plus by equals c. So now, how do I find the slope from standard form? I take the opposite of whatever a is. So a is negative 25. So the opposite of negative 25 is 25 over b, which is 5. So I still get a slope of 5. Same thing for y-intercept. The easiest way is c over b. C is 30. B is 5. 30 over 5 is 6. So my slope is 5. My y-intercept is 6. Because I know what the slope is, because I know what the y-intercept is, if I wanted this equation in slope-intercept form, it'd be y equal 5x plus 6. Still the same answer we got before, we just used two different forms. So this is why I want you to be familiar with both, because for the first, from 2014 to about 2020, it was only slope-intercept form. They didn't really use standard form. The last couple of years, I've been seeing a lot of standard form questions. So you want to be prepared for that. Okay, let's try one more real quick. Right there. So when you look at that, again, you're like, what? What? I don't understand this. I never seen a problem like that. Remember, you want two things. You recognize that's a linear equation. So you either want it in slope-intercept form,
Okay.
or standard form.
I'll standard.
Now, to me, I'm always trying to get y equal.
Yes, I can.
Right? So watch this. Watch what I do. I want to get y all by itself. Well, there's nothing on the right side.
Yeah, that's
So-
where I got. Yeah, that's why I got lost.
So watch this. I'm gonna add y to both. Oh, matter of fact, let me change that to red. Let me change it back to red. So I'm gonna add y to both sides. So now these two y's cancel. I get 5x minus 12 equal y. It doesn't matter what side your y is on. Equal means they're equal on both sides. So now I just switch it. Y equal 5x minus 12. My slope is what?
5.
5. My y-intercept is what?
12.
What kind of 12?
What?
Negative 12.
Oh yeah,
Negative
negative
12.
12. Okay.
That's all it is. So when you get familiar with all the different ways that they can give you this equation, this is why I have these quizzes. This is why I have this practice, because when you get to the test, there's nothing that should confuse you. You should be ready for every single question. Listen, if you take these quizzes and get a 0, that tells you, okay, I got a 0, I got to work on this. And then you work on it, you get it. So when you get to the real test, don't worry, you will not get a 0 because you'll be so prepared for it, it'll be easy. Watch how easy. Most people who take the test usually score 40, finish 40 to 50 minutes early. Because they practice on my site so much that they're ready.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let me pick up this. Where's this other problem here? Let me see if I can find it. I saw a couple problems people sent me. Let me go in Windows Explorer. Let me see if I can find it. Let me go to downloads. Yeah, but linear equations is a lot. Oh yeah, I saw this one here.
This whole math thing is.
Well, it's just a whole lot of practice. Okay, so can everybody see that question? It said together, Levi and Matthew earn $46.80 per month. Levi earns $520 more per month than Matthew. How much does Levi earn per month? Wow. How do you even do this problem? Can anybody even tell me how to do this problem? Where do you even start?
Don't you use y equals mx plus b?
So do you think this is a linear equation?
Yeah, I think you could use that, right?
Okay, tell me what you would write.
I think you should use the 4,680. That should be, no, my 520 should be 520x plus 4680.
And okay, and what does that tell you?
That I gotta multiply.
So 520x plus 4,680. What does that tell you? What are you trying to get?
I'm trying to get the earn per month, right? How much per month?
How much does Levi earn per month? So right there, you know that this can't be set up this way, because right away, 4680, you're adding both of them. So your number's only going to get bigger. So it's no way that can be it. So, all right, so this is the first thing I want you to do, is this. Identify what you know first. Levi and Matthew earn 4,680 per month. Okay, so Levi plus Matthew equal 4,680. So what does a variable mean? It means an unknown. I don't know what Levi makes. I don't know what Matthew makes, so I'm going to give them variables. So L plus M, Levi plus Matthew is equal to 4,680. You understand that?
Right.
Okay. Now, Levi earns 520 more than Matthew. Understand that?
Okay.
So Levi earns, this is the second thing we know. Levi earns 420 per month more than Matthew. So remember, we said L was Levi, M was Matthew. We know both of them together is 4,680. We also know Levi makes what Matthew makes plus 520, because he makes 520
I would go
more.
through the multiple choice. I would go through the answers.
Right, and you can't do it that way, but this is what's called a system of equations. So what happens is, do you have two linear equations? Yes, you do. But you had to identify those equations first. So in that case, it's not y equal mx plus b. Okay, because you still got two variables.
Okay.
right? So these are the two equations you would use. Now, through substitution, so let me change the color. Let me change it to blue. We know what L is. So we're going to take that and we're going to plug it in to L. So we're going to get M plus 250, 520. I said 250. 520. Because that's the L. L plus M equal 4680. And I got to go back to this red. That blue is not working. Okay, so then we get 2M plus 520 equal 4,680. Then this is a two-step algebraic equation. So you subtract 520 from both sides. And you get, I'm gonna have to move this over here. 2M, the 520s cancel, equal 4,160. Again, you divide both sides by 2. It's a one-step algebraic equation. I'm sorry, I'm going to move over here. M equal 2,080, right? So we see 2,080. But what does this mean? M stands for Matthew. They're not asking you how much Matthew makes. They're asking you how much Levi makes. So in order to figure out what Levi makes, we must take this 2,080 and add 520. And that answer would be 2,600. How do you know that's right? I don't know, Mr. Tinsley. This is how. Watch this. And again, this is a little dark, so I'm going to use the red. I'm going to erase this again. But remember, Levi plus Matthew equal 4,680. So 2,600 plus 2,080 is 4,680. Check. I'm right. Always check your work. Now, I'm going to save this and I'm going to clear it because Shannon said something else. She said, I'm going to use my multiple choice. I know one of these answers are right. So this is what Levi makes, right? So watch this. I love the fact that you said I want to use my multiple choice. This is one of the things that I've been preaching for the last whatever how many times I've been teaching this class. Sometimes we don't know where to start. But what we know is one of those are the answers. So if I know Levi makes this much, and I know Levi earns 520 more, so that means if Levi made 2,080, if I subtracted 520, let me grab my calculator. Again, we're not going to leave anything to chance. We're going to take our calculator. Hold on, let me load it up. It wasn't loaded up. Because this is important, because sometimes we don't know where to start in some of these problems. But what we do know, remember I said identify what you know. We know Levi and Matthew together earn 4,680, right? So they're giving us the answers. Let me make this a little bit bigger here. Make this calculator a lot larger. Let me see. And this is very important because sometimes you won't know all the answers. Sometimes you won't know where to start. Watch this. So I know both of them make 4,680, right? So my answers, my multiple choice is right here. So 2,080 is what Levi makes. Levi earns 520. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take 520 away to see what Matthew would earn. And I'm gonna take those two and I'm gonna add them. 2,080 plus 1,560. Did I get 4,680?
No.
No. So A is not it. So I'm gonna go to my second choice. 2,340 minus 520. So that would Matthew. So let's take both of those again. 2,340 plus 1,820. Did I get 4,860?
No.
No. So I'm gonna go to my third choice. And this is the answer that we got the first time. It's 2,600. So I'm gonna take 2,600, and I know Levi makes 520 more. So I'm gonna subtract 520 to get what Matthew makes. Matthew makes 2080. So now I have what Levi and Matthew makes. Let's add them together. 2,600 plus 2080. And let's see if we get 4680. We do. That's no algebra. That's just using your multiple choice answer and understanding what they're giving you. Because this is a system of equations. Most people don't know how to do system of equations. I'm gonna tell you right now. But I can tell you right now, for every question that they give you a system of equations for, especially a word problem, you can take the multiple choice to find that answer out. Okay? Let me see if I can find another example. Let's see if I can find one. Hold on for 1 second. Give me a quick second. Let me see if I can find one. Oh, did I just know? And again, you cannot get yourself concerned what you do not know on this test. Don't spend 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes on a problem. Skip it, flag it for review. If you don't know it and you have no idea what the problem is, pick an answer, keep it moving. Don't stress yourself. Do not listen to what I'm saying. One of the most important things I can tell you is do not spend too much time, 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes on a problem. It's not worth it. Okay, let me see if I can find a problem here. Let me see. Again, it's a system of equations problem, but you use the multiple choice to find your answer. I'm telling you, if you learn that skill, you'll be well equipped to be able to take and pass this exam. Bridget, I just muted you. I heard some background noise, so I just muted you. So when you want to speak, Bridget, just unmute yourself. Oh, come on, let me find one. Let me find one. Please, 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 please. There we go, right there. There we go, right there. There we go. There we go. Okay, let's look at this problem here. Okay, it says Justin is exchanging dollars for rolls of quarters and rolls of dimes at a bank. Each roll of quarters has a value of $10 and each roll of dimes has a value of $5. He exchanges $90 and receives 11 rolls of coins. How many of each type of roll of coins did he receive? Wow. How many can do that problem? Just raise your hand or let me know through the microphone, can you do this problem? Exactly. Okay, this is considered a difficult problem. This is a system of equations problem. This is considered a difficult problem. Does anybody know where you would even start to do this problem?
You just multiply your answers?
Tell me what you mean by that.
I would multiply, I'll see what I got from dimes. If I got a roll of dimes, it's $5 a roll. So,
okay. So again, identify what you know. So each roll of quarters has a value of $10. Right. Each roll of dimes has a value of $5.
Right.
He exchanges for $90 and he got 11 rolls of coins. That's what's important. You have to know what's given. Now, say what you just said again.
I will count my dimes. If I got 4 rolls of dimes,
so let's go with A. So you got 4 rolls of quarters.
4 rolls of quarters.
4 by?
Right. That's $10 a roll. So that's like what, $40.
That's $40. Okay. 7 rolls of dimes.
Which is $5 a roll. That's $35.
That's 35. So when you add them together, do you get 90?
No.
So it's not A. So again, we're not using the system of equations. What he said was, and this is the advice I gave you, use the multiple choice to get your answer. So now we're going to do the same thing. 7 times 10 is 70. 4 times 5 is 20.
That's 90.
70 plus 20 is 90. Ding, 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 ding. That now became a 45-second problem. Now,
I did it right.
what they wanted you to do was they wanted you to do this. So X, oh, matter of fact, I'm not even going to use X. I'm going to use Q and D. Q plus D equal 11. And then 10 times Q plus 5 times D is equal to 90. They wanted you to do a system of equations. And I'm telling you, this would take you 5 to 10 minutes to solve this system of equations. But again, what advice did I give you? Try to look at the multiple choice first, identify what's given, and then plug each one of them in. You'll be done so much faster. Here, what they wanted you to do is, again, subtract D, and Q is equal to 11 minus D. So I'm going to do 10 times 11 minus D plus 5D equal 90. Then you got to do the distributive property. 110 minus 10D plus 5D equal 90. Then I got to combine like terms. Minus 110, minus 110. They cancel. Minus 10D and plus 5D is minus 5D equal minus 20. Divide both sides by minus 5. The minus 5's cancel. D is equal to 4. If I know D is 4, so Q plus 4 equal 11, subtract 4 from both sides, Q is equal to 7. So the number of rows of quarters is 7. The number of rows of dimes is 4. But how many people would have made a mistake trying to do this algebraically? I'm telling you. So my advice for system of equations, especially if it's a multiple choice and they give you the multiple choice answers, is to identify what's given and plug each one of them in until you get your answer. You'll go from a 5 to 10 minute problem to a 1 to 2 minute problem. One thing about the multiple choice is you know one of those are your answers. Okay, so that would be my advice in order to solve a question like this. All right. What was that other question? There's another good one. Oh, here we go. And I'm just taking screenshots, so I apologize. How do I move this? So it says, a tower casts a shadow 11 feet long. The distance from the top of the tower to the end of the shadow is 61 feet. How many feet tall is the tower? I don't know. I'm going to figure that out. That's what you're probably saying. Does anybody know how to figure out this problem?
Pythagorean theory.
Pythagorean theorem. How do you know that? Like, how did you know to use Pythagorean? I can't tell by this question that this is a Pythagorean theorem problem. How did you know?
It looks like a triangle, and that's
Exactly.
the property size right there.
It looks like
feet.
a triangle, but what type of special triangle?
90 degree.
90 degrees. So right there, that L tells you got a right triangle. And to find a missing side of a right triangle, you use Pythagorean theorem. It is on every single GED exam. You will have Pythagorean theorem. So they might use words like diagonal or from corner to corner, but it's on every exam. So if you look at it, I now have a right triangle. Okay, I know this side is 61. I know this side is 11. What's the second thing you must know in order to solve this problem? So we know it's Pythagorean theorem. What is the formula to solve?
A squared plus B squared equals C squared.
Oh my God, how do you remember all this? You must be a rocket scientist. Where do you look? Where? I'm sorry, I think I'm a comedian sometimes. But where do I have to remember this formula? Where can I look if I can't remember it?
Don't they have that on the test?
On your formula sheet. But what you must remember is when to use the Pythagorean theorem, when I'm trying to find the missing side of a right triangle. Now, so let me ask you something. Where does all ABC? ABC. Well, because hold on, because we talk about AX plus BY equals C. We talk about Y equal MX, but we talk about all these variables. Oh my God, this is all I got is these letters. Just listen. A variable is just an unknown. For different formulas, A, B, and C may mean different things. So in this case, what does A, B, and C refer to? Can anybody tell me?
A is equals to square 0, so because we don't have nothing there. B is your 11 feet square. 61 is your C square.
Okay, so I disagree with one thing, so I'm gonna correct you there. First of all, when you talk about Pythagorean theorem, I'm gonna tell you the sides first. This is A.
Oh, right, A, the bottom is B, and
this is
the
C.
hypothesis is C, yes.
A and B are interchangeable. It doesn't matter what you call A and B, but the side opposite the 90 degrees is always your hypotenuse, or always your C. Always, that's the leg you must understand. The leg opposite the 90 degrees is your C. Okay, so now we're just gonna plug everything in. We don't know A, we know B, so A squared plus what's B?
11 square.
Equal, and what's C?
61 square.
Mr. Tinsey, I don't know what 61 squared is. You told us to know all the squares. You're 100% right. But again, this comes back to an algebraic equation. I want to get the unknown, the A, by itself. That's what algebra is, getting the variable by itself. You got to keep saying it in your head. For linear equation, I'm trying to get the Y by itself. When I'm trying to solve an equation, I'm trying to get the variable by itself. So it's the same thing. So if I want to get the A squared by itself, that means I must, let me change to another color. I need to get rid of the 11 squared. So since I'm adding 11 squared, I'm going to subtract 11 squared. Whatever I do on one side, I do on the other. So I get A squared equal 61 squared minus 11 squared. You're going to grab your calculator. Okay, remember, the calculator is your friend. 61 squared minus 11 squared. You get 3,600. So we get A squared equal 3,600. Is A still by itself? No, we don't see A equal. It says A squared. So what is the opposite of squaring something? What is the inverse operation of squaring something?
Square root of it?
Square root. So we take the square root of both sides. The square root and the square cancel each other out. So we get A equal the square root of 3,600. Again, you don't have to know it. Why? Because you have your calculator. Bam. Now, Mr. Tinsley, all these formulas, I can't remember them all. What am I supposed to do? Do what Shannon said to do. I'm going to show you again. Watch this. If I know my formula is A squared plus B squared equals C squared, and I have all the answers, all we got to do is say, okay, watch this. I know, hold on, let me clear it out. I know 61 squared, 61 squared is 3,720. So A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So that means I'm going to take the first one and I'm going to do 50 squared plus 11 squared. Let's see if I get 3,721. I do not. Let's go to the second one. 60 squared plus 11 squared. I'm done. No solving, no square root, nothing. Remember, this is what I'm trying to tell you. It's no reason to get scared. What you want to do is you want to practice enough so when you read these word problems, you know what formula to use. If they give you multiple choice, all you're doing is plugging back into the formula. That's no algebra. That's just using your multiple choice to get the right answer. Listen, my biggest first advice is Understand it's easy, medium, hard. My second biggest advice is if you don't know it, spending too much time, skip it, flag it for review. My third the biggest advice I would give you is use the multiple choice in the formula from your formula sheet. I'm telling you, it will save you a lot of time. You just saw me. Now I'm gonna show you the super easy way. I'm gonna show you the super easy way. Using your calculator is gonna take you less than 15 seconds. Watch this. Watch this. Let me put it full screen so we can see it. And this is why I made the ebook, because I want these questions, the harder questions, to be easy. Watch this. Let me write that triangle back on here. So I got my right triangle. This was 11. This was 61. So I know this is my C. Okay, watch this. If I got my C, watch this. Second square root, 61 squared minus 11 squared. Done. 15 seconds.
Really?
So now the first way, it took us about 2.5 to 3 minutes. The second way took under a minute. That took 15 seconds. But you have to be able to identify the differences between A, B, and C, which the most important one is C, the side opposite the 90-degree angle. So all you're doing is, if you don't know C, you're adding them. If you know C, you're subtracting. So 61 squared minus 11 squared. That's Pythagorean Theorem.
Can we do one without the C, do A and B? C.
Of course. Watch this. Of course. Let me save this first. Let me clear everything out. And I'm gonna make it, let me clear my calculator. He said, can we do one? Let me get a good one first. Let me grab my calculator off the screen first. And let me do a nice triplet. Matter of fact, let me find a nice triplet that you haven't seen before. Let's see. Right triangle triplets. So I could make one up, but I don't feel like it. So let me look it up. No, I gave you 3, 4, 5. I gave you 5, 12, 13. I gave you 6, 8. I gave you 6, 8, 10. It used to have a whole list of all the triplets. Here we go, right there. Okay, so I'm gonna make one up for you. Watch this. Boop, boop, boop. 11, 60. Right? So to you, all you doing is saying, okay, I know the legs, A and B. Since I know the legs and you bought the ebook, then all you're gonna do is go bang, bang, 11 squared plus 60 squared. Boom, done. And you laughing all the way home. 61 is my missing side. That's if you bought the ebook and you know all these quick ways that I showed you. Now, let's go back. Let me clear everything out. Let me go to a blank page. If you were doing this by hand, hold on. Let me go to a blank.
Take me a while.
If you're going to it, let me find my blank page. Why is my blank page not open? Okay, I gotta open my blank page. Hold on for 1 second. Blank, there we go. Now, if you were doing this by hand, okay, you have your triangle, 11 and 60. But you had to realize A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So now I'm 11 squared plus 60 squared equal C squared. 121 plus 3,600 equals C squared. What's that? 3,721 equals C squared. Take the square root of both sides. C equal 61. Mm-hmm. Now that's me knowing what I'm doing. This is why I tell you, listen, I try to go over the problems. I'm telling you, guarantee you're gonna see. Now, okay, Mr. Tinsley, they don't always put them like that. They be having word problems. Okay, let's find a word problem. Because that's what most people say. Mr. T, I'm scared of word problems. I can't do them. Yes, you can. First of all, the fact when you believe that you can't do word problems, because guess what? We speak words every day. So you got word problems every day. We got words and we got problems every single day. So you can figure out a word problem. But when you put it in your mind that you can't do it, that's why you can't do it. You got to take your time, identify the givens, identify what they want, then go to your formula sheet. It's really that, now, if you use that method every time, you'll see that these are not that hard. So let me find one that's a word problem. So when we see it, come on now, I know it's a word problem here. There we go, right there. Boom. This is a word problem. The foundation of a building is in the shape of a rectangle with the length of 20 meters and a width of 18 meters. To the nearest meter, what is the distance from top left corner to the foundation to the bottom right corner? Oh my goodness. What are you talking about, Mr. I don't know how to do this problem. How do I know that this is Pythagorean theorem? Because it doesn't say it.
Angle?
It doesn't. I don't see a triangle.
I see the box in the right-hand corner at the bottom left-hand side.
That's a 90-degree angle of a rectangle. Pythagorean
Because they're
theorem
looking for a missing. Because they're looking
only works for the missing side of a right triangle. Do we have a triangle here?
But you can draw a line and create one, right?
Exactly. That's the point. Look what it says. What is the distance from the top left corner to the bottom right corner? Once you draw that diagonal from the top left corner to the bottom right corner, you now have a what?
Triangle.
A right triangle. So this is 20. Now, what's this side here?
The A leg.
What is it though?
A square.
Nope. It's a number.
Oh, that number's not there.
I know, but what is it? How do you know it's there? It's not, it's missing. But how do you know what that length is?
So on the other side?
Exactly. Remember, they started out by telling us this is a rectangle. One thing we know about rectangles, opposite sides are equal. So if this side is 20, this side is 20. If this side is 18, this side is 18. So first of all, they said draw from corner to corner. And then you have to understand what a rectangle is. Opposite sides are equal. So now we have a right triangle with the side 18 and 20. So I'm gonna grab my calculator because if you went through my ebook, this is a 30-second problem because I don't know. Hold on, let me clear everything out. I don't know my hypotenuse. So I know since I don't know my hypotenuse, I'm going to add them. So second square root 18 squared plus 20 squared. Get out of my square root, hit enter. Oh my God, Mr. Tinsley, that's not one of my multiple choice. It say 19, 27, 36. It don't say 2 square root of 81. How do I change that to a decimal? You hit these double arrows right here. Boop. If I round that off to the nearest whole number, what's my answer?
7.
27. You done. 15 to 30 seconds. Listen, if you do enough practice on my site, I will give you almost every way that they can ask you a question. So when you get to this GED, this is the important thing. What I'm showing you is the harder problems you'll be able to do in a minute to 2 minutes. And that'll save you so much time and you'll be feeling so much better about yourself that when you get to those hard problems, you'll be able to work them out easily. Well, not easily, but much easier than you did before. Okay, so that's what I want you to keep in mind. Let me make this bigger.
Thinking I got to work this out in my head.
Exactly. And that's the point I'm trying to tell you. Because if you do it by hand, this problem is going to take you forever. Yeah. Because what do you have to do? First of all, you got to do a Pythagorean theorem. Then you got to round off. But guess what? Watch this. If I wanted to round this off, if you got my ebook, you know, boom, I can round this off too. Watch this.
Hey.
I can round this off. Boom.
Right. Hey.
Again, take some time to go through it. I'm telling you, I'm gonna make your job. I'm gonna make this much easier. I'm telling you. But then,
I didn't
now,
get that far in the ebook.
This is my point. This is what I would do right here. So I went over several problems tonight. I went over Pythagorean theorem, right? I went over system of equations, right? So first thing I might try to do is say, you know what? I understood what Mr. Tinsley was talking about, but let me go on his Schoology site and practice Pythagorean theorem problem. Let me make sure I got them.
Yeah.
So then when you go through those 10, 15, 20 problems, you got it. You can move on. Okay, I got that. That's done. Because what I'm telling you is that's a guaranteed problem. Anybody who has taken the GED exam, of course, you can't tell us what's on the exam because that would be wrong. But you can tell us whether you've seen a Pythagorean theorem problem. And I guarantee you have. Guaranteed it's on every single exam. There are certain problems that are on every single exam. Area, circumference of a circle, every single exam. Area and perimeter of a rectangle, every single exam.
I'm gonna be looking for them.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I put listen. I'm telling you. All right. So is one more that I saw? Hold on. Oh. So and the reason why I'm using these is because I had 3 to 4 different people ask about inequalities.
Yes, that's a tough one.
Okay. These no, we don't start off. This is a tough one. No, we're not saying that. Remember, mind over matter. I didn't study inequalities. Mr. T didn't show me. I didn't practice enough. I got this. So, first of all, anything that we do, when you talk about algebra, we're trying to isolate a variable. We're trying to get it by itself. So let's look at 27. The first of all, what you notice is that you have variables on both sides. Does everybody see that?
Yes.
So one of the most important terms, and I've said this several times, you must know how to do the distributive property. You must know how to combine like terms. If you do not, you need to go under Schoology and go under combining like terms and distributive property on Khan Academy, CK12, whatever you want to use, and make sure you have those down. Okay, so now what are my like terms in number 27?
Negative 4x and 2x.
Okay, so now identify the like terms. But the second thing you must notice that they're on 2 opposite sides of the inequality. So you can't combine them directly. So they're not on the same side. So to move something on the other side, I have to do the opposite. What's the opposite of 2x?
Minus 2x.
Right, minus 2x. So whatever I do on one side, I do on the other. Right? So remember the whole purpose of algebra, to get the variable by itself. So that means I want all the variables on one side. I want everything else on the right side. Boom. So that means I need to get rid of what now? What's the next 2 like terms?
8 and 10.
Not 8. Not
Negative
8.
8.
Negative
8 and 10.
And 10. So I want to combine those. Okay. So now, since I put the variables on the left, which one do I want to get rid of now?
The 4x.
No, we already combined the 2x. So I'm talking about the minus 8 plus 10.
Get rid of
You want to subtract the 8 from the 10?
No, hold on. So I want you to use that word subtraction. I want you to understand it. I want to get rid of minus 8. How do I get what's the opposite of minus 8?
Plus.
Add
Plus
8 to both sides.
Add 8 to both sides. So I'm gonna draw my line. I'm gonna combine these like terms. What's minus 4x and minus 2x?
6x.
You know what, Mr. Tinsley? I hate sign numbers. 6x. They get on my nerves. I can't never do them. Don't worry, you got your calculator. Minus 4, minus 2. So minus 4x minus 2x is what?
6x minus 6x.
Minus
negative
6x. Negative 6x. Why? Minus 6. Your calculator is your friend. If sign numbers are giving you problems, you work this calculator till you don't know how to work it no more. Because that can't be the problem. That can't be the reason why you fail your test, because of sign numbers. And guess what? Most people fail their test because they don't finish or because of sign numbers. Minus 6. So the plus 8's cancel. We bring down a less than or equal to. And then what's 10 plus 8? 18. Listen to what I'm telling you for this GED. When they give you an explicit inequality like this, they will almost always have a negative coefficient because they want to see if you do this. I'm going to show you. If I want to give x by itself, what's my next step?
Divide. by
Divide by what?
6.
negative
Nope.
6.
-6. Okay, remember 6 and -6 are not the same thing. Whatever's in front of that X, you need to get it by itself. You divide by whatever's in that coefficient is, -6. Now, whatever I do on one side, I do on the other. This is the part I'm talking about. Let me change my color. The -6 cancels, right? You bring down your X. Because you multiplied or divided by a negative number, you must switch this inequality.
Yep.
Let me say that again. Let me rewind. If you multiply or divide by a negative number, you must change the inequality. So your less than or equal to now becomes greater than or equal to -3. This is why most people get inequalities wrong on their exam. Right there, because they don't switch the inequality.
Do they give you a lot of graph for inequalities on the test too?
No. And since 2014, that's 8 years, I have seen no graphs of inequalities. Not one. Now, I'm not saying you should know it just in case, but I haven't seen that one.
You know how to do it, shade it in or don't shade it in. If it's equal to, you shade it in.
Correct.
If you
and then left in is to the left, right, greater than is to the right.
Right.
Yep. So now watch this. So when you see a problem, when you see an inequality, this is what you should be doing, because this is what they're going to do. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find one real quick. Hold on for 1 second. Let me see if I can find.
Mr. Tinsley, we can't do that on the calculator, can we?
Yes. I'll show you in the ebook how to do inequalities with a calculator also. Yes, you can. Okay. The harder ones, yes. Matter of fact, I would recommend using the calculator on the exam. Like for this one, like if you had one like that, it just happened to be on, wow, I just, look at that.
Wow.
So this would, listen to me right now. If I had that problem, I would flag and skip it. Listen, it's not worth spending 8 minutes trying to solve it. Okay, that's my personal opinion. I would flag it, skip it, review. I would pick A or D and I keep it moving. Now, let me show you how you would do it, so you know. Okay, first of all, it's distributive property. And let me change back to grade. I mean, this is a 5-minute problem, but I'm gonna do it fairly quickly. Distributive property. So I get -12x plus 24.6. Again, 2 negatives make a positive. Less than -11.98x plus 14.75. If you notice, I changed this to the decimal equivalent. Right. Because I got decimals over here. I want the same thing. So I'm gonna change that to a decimal. If you don't know 3/4 is 0.75, type it in your calculator. 3 divided by 4 is 0.75. Okay, so now I'm gonna do the second. I want positive x. So it doesn't matter what I do, but I'm gonna do it. So I'm gonna do, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add 11.98x. Whatever I do on one side, I do on the other. So that means if I move my variables to the left, that means I want everything else to the right. So I'm gonna subtract, get rid of this 24.6. Okay, now I don't know what these are. I don't feel like taking any chances. So what am I gonna grab?
Your calculator.
My calculator, -12 plus 11.98. I got -0.02, right? So I'm gonna go put that in. Hold on. Minus 0.02x, 24.6 cancels, less than, they cancel. Again, I'm gonna grab my calculator so I won't make mistakes. 14.75 minus 24.6 minus 9.85 less than minus 9 minus 9.85. So again, the process is still the same. I need to get x by itself. So I need to divide by a negative 0.02. Whatever I do on one side, I do on the other. Because this is an inequality, it must change because I multiplied or divided by a negative number. So this must change. So they cancel. I get x greater than, and again, I'm going to use my calculator. Listen, I'm trying to tell you, divided by negative 0.02. So I'm going to divide that by negative 0.02. Oops, I forgot my negative. Negative 0.02. 492.5. 492.5. Answer D. That's a long problem. That is a long problem. It took me working it out with the calculator 3 minutes. Okay. To me, I wouldn't waste that 5 minutes. I would pick A or D and I would move on to the next one until I finish my exam. And then once I finish it, I would go back to the ones I skipped. I would not spend that 5 to 6 minutes on this one problem. Remember, easy, medium, hard. They're all worth the same amount of points. The hardest problems are not worth more than the easier problems. Therefore, this problem, let me say it again. I would skip this problem. I would pick A or D. I would flag it for review, and I would finish the exam first. And then when you got 40, 50 minutes left, 30 minutes left, 40 minutes, then come back to those problems that you flagged for review. Let me see if I can find another inequality. Now, I just got lucky. I happened to open that one up and have and be. Oops, that's not it. Okay, let's go back to that sheet. Where did I put it? Did I put it here? All right. Another example is I'm gonna change it just a little bit, but I want to show you. I'm gonna move this up, and I'm gonna do number 28. Move this up, number 28. But this time, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna do it 2 ways. So I'm gonna write it over here. I'm gonna do it 2 ways. Oops, I'm gonna do it 2 ways. There is no one way that you can do things. 10x 16 less than x minus 11. So this one, I'm gonna subtract x. Subtract 16, subtract 16. 10x minus x is 9x. 16 is canceled. Less than minus 27. Divide by 9. 9's canceled. X less than minus 3. The reason why I did it that way is because I said, hold on, I want my x's on the left side. So since my 10x is on the left side, I want to keep it on the left side. So I'm going to subtract my x. Why? This is why. Let me show you why. I'm going to change my color to blue. But this time I'm going to subtract 10x. I'm going to subtract 10x. Okay? Since I subtracted 10x and I want my x's on the right, that means I need to add 11. I need to add 11. So in this case, I'm going to have 27 is less than minus 11x, or I'm sorry, minus 9x, and my 11's canceled, right? So remember what I told you. If you divide by a negative, to get the x by itself first, I'm going to divide by a negative. Let me explain this to you again. If I multiply or divide by a negative, when I'm trying to get the variable by itself, you got to switch the inequality. So this becomes x greater than, and this becomes negative 3. Let me explain something to you again. It's very important. This is the second reason why you switch an inequality. If your variable is on the right side, you switch the 2 values. So I'm going to take the x, put it on this side, the negative 3, put it on this side, and I'm gonna switch this inequality. Did we get the same exact answer? Yes. But the right side took a lot of flipping of the inequality. Almost every single explicit inequality on the GED will be one of these two cases. We either got to multiply, divide by negative, or the variables on the right, where you got to switch the inequality. You must be prepared for that. It's guaranteed on your exam. Listen, for each one of you to take the exam, I want you to call me after you finish. Because I know, because you're gonna be calling me, you'd be like, listen, you were right, Mr. Tinsley, it was inequality, and I had to switch it out. It's linear equation, had to find a slope, perpendicular. I'm telling you, every problem that we go over in this class and on my YouTube videos is the type of problem you'll see in your exam, guaranteed. So that's inequality. Time flew tonight. Wow. Now I know you could probably tell the difference. Last week I was a little under the weather. This week I'm ready. So again, what I would recommend you do now is to say, okay, let me practice on what we did. So remember, it's a whole lot of math to get ready for your GED. So what I want you to do is say, okay, you know what? We went over Pythagorean Theorem today. Let me hit that. Let me make sure I got that. We went over inequalities. Let me make sure I hit that. Make sure I know them. Because the biggest thing that you want to do is it's three parts. It's conceptual understanding. Then it's doing enough practice to make sure you know how to do it so you won't forget it. And then the third part is connecting it to other mathematical concepts. Those are the three levels you want to make sure you understand. Okay? That's conceptual understanding, rigor, and coherence. Those are the three things. Okay, do I understand it? Can I apply it? And can I connect it to other mathematical concepts? Because if you notice, the problems I showed you here for inequalities were unlike, let me not say unlike, but here, this is a way more difficult problem. You had to do the distributive property. You had to combine like terms. You had to change a fraction to a decimal. You had to divide by a negative decimal. So here in this problem, this is also considered a difficult problem. But guess what? Again, let me say this. When you come across that difficult problem, the next one is an easy problem. Oh, let me repeat that again. Let me repeat that again. Let me write it down so you fully understand what I'm trying to tell you. Easy, medium, hard. So if you have a difficult problem, you skipped it. The next one is easy. For example, boom. Let's go to the next problem after this one, after that hard problem. What is the difference between the maximum and minimum? They give you this whole graph, this whole paragraph, but all they asking is what's the difference between the maximum and minimum? So if I look at this graph, this is supposed to be an easy problem because the one before that was hard. What's the maximum here? What number is the maximum?
150.
150. What's the minimum?
10.
10. What's 150 minus 10?
40.
140. Easy problem. So remember what I told you. First of all, the questions are going to be ordered easy, medium, hard. If you get a hard problem, a difficult problem that you think, listen, don't spend time. Do not waste your time. Skip it, flag it for review. Why? Because the next two problems are easy and medium. You should get those right. Boom. If you get all the easy and mediums right, that's 67%. You passed your exam. You ain't had to do any of the hard ones. I'm not telling you to skip the hard ones, but understand the objective is to pass your exam. If you spend too much time on one or two problems, I just had a young lady, she missed by 1 point.
Oh my gosh.
And skipped 12 problems. All she had to do was pick A for every single one of them. And she would have got that one more right, she would have passed. She took it today and passed though.
Okay. That's what's
She
up.
took it today. But my whole point was she skipped 12. She didn't answer it. Listen to what I'm telling you. Never leave anything blank. If you don't know it, pick a letter. Now, if you're at the end of your test and you got 5 left, right? Just pick a letter, make them all in the same letter. This is why standardized exams must have a normal distribution. What that means is all the answers that you can have must be around the same percentage. Option A can't be 60% of your exam. Option B can't be 8% of your exam. They have to be within 5% of each other. So if you got 5 left and you picked all A, you could probably get 2 right. So don't leave anything blank. That's the advice I can give you. Listen, I'm telling you, you go through that ebook, do that practice in that ebook, use my Schoology site, come to GED Math Mondays, remember that easy, medium, hard, you'll take your exam. I'm telling you, you're gonna finish 40, 50 minutes ahead of time. Hold on, let me let my cat out. I'm telling you, you're gonna finish it.
Do you have to take a pre-test before you go take the original test?
No, you don't. Hold on. You don't have to. So let me stop the recording for a second. Hold on. Let me stop it. Pause it.